Welcome back to Geekshow Arcade.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
Boop, beep, beep, boop.
We just had a heated discussion in the in-between that the Patreon backers have access to.
I'll tell you what. If you're not subscribed to the Patreon and listening to the in between, you are missing out. It was spicy tonight.
And
Jaren Rage came
yeah.
and set up camp.
All right. This is the Geek Show Arcade, where we talk about video games and all video game related things. Let's kick it off by introducing the panelists. We got there, Kitty Corner for me. It's Lando.
Hey, it's Lando. You can find me here on the Arcade Show. You can find me on the Help Desk Show. You can find me on the X at Landon Conover or on the Blue Skies at Landon Conover.
There you go. Underneath me, it's Jaren.
Hey, this is Jaren. You can find me on Twitter at Jaren. And that is it.
All right. Next to me, we got Owen.
You know, Tony, I appreciate you giving me a second chance today at this recording. Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at TechNoan or on X at TechNoan or on Blue Sky at TechNoan. And we have a host.
He got it this time.
His name's Tony.
Nailed it.
There we go.
Appreciates that.
Check me out on Twitter at QuadTTony or on the Blue Sky at QuadT or on the other Geek Show podcasts. All right. Emails?
Nope.
All right. Moving along. A lot of cool stuff to talk about in Arcade this week. We had Sony did a state of play that was very short notice. They only gave like 3 days notice. Said, hey, we're going to have a state of play. And Nintendo also had a Nintendo Direct. Talked about a bunch of Nintendo games.
This is why E3 is dead right here.
Yeah,
They can do this.
whenever they want. And
Yep.
there was a massive document leak from Microsoft that we're going to talk about as well. Very interesting stuff. Before we get to that, though, we needed to do an update on the Unity saga because there has
What a
been
saga.
updates in the Unity game engine saga. We talked about this a little bit last week, how Unity decided they were going to charge per download or per install. Per install.
And then they doubled down on it, and then they were just kind of like, "This is just
Yep.
get over it."
For any game using their engine, they were going to charge a per install to the developer.
So bad.
Well, as you can assume, there was a lot of outrage,
little bit of
rightfully
that.
so.
Had to close some offices.
Yep. And Owen has an update on some of that.
Yeah, they closed some offices in Texas and in San Francisco. They had to close their offices because they received credible threats to the staff and employees of those offices.
It was
Jeez.
employees of Unity doing that.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
Yep.
credible threats, yeah.
Oh,
I didn't-
jeez.
So that's what there's not much more that there's not, obviously they're keeping that really close to the vest, but
Yeah.
not much more they have released there. But yeah, credible threats. They closed down those offices and they're doing the whole "we care for our employees" thing. They're trying to turn it into a positive spin where they're like, it's because of the safety of our employees we're taking these very seriously and closing everything down. So,
And it's
Yeah.
also because of our employees, we're
Yeah.
closing everything
we
down.
also had to fire the whole staff, so the office closed by default.
So with regard to
Jeez.
their new policy that we talked about last week, late Sunday afternoon, when no one is really paying attention to
No.
anything on social media,
They're all simmering,
They-
waiting.
posted on Twitter, "We have heard you. We apologize for the confusion and angst the runtime fee policy we announced on Tuesday caused. We are listening, talking to our team members, community, customers, and partners.
How could they
And-
not see this coming?
And
Yeah.
we'll be making changes to the policy. We will share an update in a couple of days. Thank you for your honest and critical feedback."
It's too little, too late.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I
their
would
name is
never,
Mud
ever,
now.
ever consider
You know?
using this game engine
Trust
ever
that.
again.
Yeah,
I don't
the
care if
damage,
you've gone back on it. Doesn't matter.
the damage has been done. Just the
too little,
fact
too
that
late.
they would do this to their customers says that, maybe they'll do it again someday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. It's bad.
Yeah, and so they're proposing like a cap to the fees that are charged to a customer of Unity.
Why don't they just not charge these fees and go with a more traditional style
And
of
a price tier route, right? Like,
They're saying that
right.
their customers can self-report the installs rather than
because that's what they'll do. You know what? Where's the website? I'm gonna go self-report right now.
yeah, it's like
Two.
Anyway, back to Unity. Was there anything else to that article, or we're just waiting for them to actually say what their changes are going to be?
No, we already talked about that. But I mean, the Fallout continues. There's no way developers of Unity
my
are
biggest
gonna.
concern about this is games that are already in development, like Hollow Knight
Yeah.
Silk Song, been in development for years and years and years. It's like, wait, how does
You
that
can't
affect
change
those?
engines. Yeah,
No.
you can't
Yeah.
change
Right.
engines mid-development like that.
No.
And games like Hearthstone and Marvel Snap, both on Unity, that's a big deal, right? Like,
The trust is completely
It's
broken.
gone.
I
It's so
wouldn't-
bad.
If I was an indie dev, I wouldn't be doing that at all.
Well, and what's funny too is if you look at what's the Epic's game engine, the Unreal Engine. As the years have gone on, they've become more and more developer friendly with their charging practices.
yeah.
And then to see Unity come in and be like, who's already kind of the underdog,
Yeah.
to be like, well, we're gonna charge more.
When they used to
Like,
be really friendly
what?
developers too, like they're
Just a money grab,
But
just
this
the
is bad.
final. This is the final dirge for them.
Yep. All right. Well, we'll keep you updated as we get more information on the topic and as the fallout continues to, well, fall out. Let's talk about the Sony State of Play. So this was out of nowhere, like I said earlier, just like 3 days before it happened, Sony announced, hey, we're going to have a State of Play. It's going to be like 40 minutes long, and it's going to talk about a bunch of games coming out. And everyone thought, oh,
I kind of like this though. Like
It's a
imagine
fun
you're
surprise, you know?
imagine like they were just basically like they were like, hey, look, if you get this project done and you've got something to present, we'll drop it. We'll do a state of play. If not, we won't. And they didn't fuel the hype train. They
Nope.
didn't set all their high expectations. They didn't say check out what we're gonna do, and then let everybody down when it didn't hit numbers or when it didn't hit times. And so like I would rather be pleasantly surprised than to have this
Right.
whole like months long campaign to have it be like, never mind, we pushed all this back out. You won't see these games for another 25 years.
Yep.
So it's interesting.
So we'll talk highlights first. The two highlights, in my opinion, and most everyone online as well, is the showing off a lot more of Marvel Spider-Man 2. Oh man, I'm excited for that game. I really liked the first one, and this one just looks like it takes the first one and dials it up to 11. It looks awesome. There's something like 52 or 54 different spider suits you can get in this game.
Do they do different things, or do
Well,
they
they
just look
did
different?
it. They did in the first game. They had different features. So I'm sure there's a few that are repeats feature wise, but yeah, that usually did affect how Spider-Man played. They're promising a really big story. They added 2 new boroughs to New York. They added Brooklyn and Queens. Was it? Yeah, I think it's Brooklyn and Queens. Anyway, it's way bigger, and they really stretch that engine out because it's PlayStation 5 exclusive, so they don't have any baggage from previous gen hardware that they're
Right.
trying to work
that's
with.
nice.
Yeah, really
It's
cool
ti-
looking.
It's time.
And then also they teased the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth with a release date. Everyone knew they were working on this at Squaresoft, and everyone's very excited for this that played the first one. This is the first Final Fantasy game I played all the way through was the Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I had a good time with it. I liked it. I'm looking forward to this, and it is coming out next year, February 29th.
This one's
It'll-
going to have some new content in it, right? Like they're
So,
changing a couple.
We're
things?
not sure how much they're adding to it, but they say this is part 2 of 3. So there's
Okay.
still another part after
Holy
this.
cow! They're
Yeah.
dragging that out.
Yeah, it's a big deal. So, it looks spectacular. The visual direction they've gone with, and the art direction and the graphics all look really, really awesome. I'm sure it'll play a lot like Final Fantasy VII Remake, which I thought played great.
Did you
And
finally
then-
get into that one?
I finally did. Yeah, I beat it. I went all the way through it, and I had a good time with it. It is going to be PlayStation exclusive for a couple months, it looks like, and then it'll probably be coming to other platforms like Xbox and PC. Actually, there's no guarantee about Xbox. It might only be on PC because did Final Fantasy VII Remake ever come out on Xbox, or was it just PlayStation and PC?
Just PlayStation.
That's what I thought. Anyway, all right, and then they showed off some Resident Evil 4 Remake DLC, and this looks like it's the same DLC that was on the original Resident Evil 4, which was good. It was good DLC. And let's see, Tales of Arise. If they had quite a few
Tales of what?
JRPG Tales of Arise Beyond
Arise.
the Dawn.
You said Arise. I'm like, no, Tony, it's Arise.
Arise.
Yeah, not just Rise, Arise.
Arise.
Stop trying to catch Tony in something like this. He's flawless.
Oh, Jared,
Dude.
don't put me on a pedestal too high. It'll hurt when I fall.
I hope so.
They announced quite a few JRPG type things, and same with the Nintendo Direct as well that we'll get to later. So you got Tales of Arise, Honkai Star Rail is coming out on PlayStation. That's already been out on iOS and Android for a while. And then, I guess that was it for most of the JRPG that I was thinking of for Nintendo then. They showed off 3 new colors for the PlayStation 5. They call it the Deep Earth Collection.
Please stop 3 printing your own cases.
Yeah, exactly.
Get the D brand ones. They
Yeah,
look nicer anyway.
And they have added ventilation. I have the D brand one, and I think it's
Yeah.
great. It looks great, and it has the added ventilation. So
And they're a little cheeky, which I like.
oh yeah,
They're
it's a lot of fun.
I like it.
They announced more Foam Star stuff, which is just friggin' Splatoon on PlayStation open beta
Yeah,
party.
that's
coming.
exactly like Splatoon.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's Splatoon.
Straight up copy.
Yeah, yep. Runs from September 29th to October 1st. It's open beta in North America. And then surprisingly, they showed off something that got me interested in Avatar. There's an Avatar game coming out called Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, and it's from Ubisoft. And I didn't care about it until I saw the video, and it looks amazing.
The graphics are great.
The graphics look stunning, and you know why? Is because it's a Ubisoft Snowdrop engine title, and Snowdrop is fantastic. I think it's underused. There's only a couple of games that have it, but it's using that game engine and looking really, really good. It looks like it kind of plays like Far Cry a little bit, which I'm down with. I love the Far Cry games. So that looks cool. And then they opened the showcase with this game. It was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. It's called Baby Steps.
Oh, this game looks so funny.
It looks just crazy.
Yeah.
It is a literal walking simulator where you have to move each leg independently with the controller somehow.
Wait, what?
Did you ever play the game Quap? Back on in the day on PC. I think it was a browser game, if I remember correctly. Just go watch the video for this. It looks really funny. I mean, it's Devolver Digital is the publisher for this, and Devolver has a tendency to create or publish and produce funny games. And
So it's like Death Stranding with a sense of humor.
yeah, like big time sense of humor. It just looks bizarre. Like it looks like if someone from Adult Swim decided to make a game, basically. Like it's just
What am I watching?
Just bizarre. And it comes out in 2024 sometime. The part that is weird to me is so the publisher is Devolver Digital. Totally see this coming from them. That's absolutely normal. The actual developer, though, is the people that made the Ape Out games. I'm thinking of Ape Escape. I was like, what did the Ape Escape team smoke to make this? I don't know what Ape Out is. Okay. I've seen the logo for this Ape Out game. It's on Steam. Oh, it's got really good ratings. It's got like a 9 out of 10. Oh, maybe I have to check that out. Anyway, Baby Steps looks totally bizarre, and I'm definitely going to keep an eye on this. It looks just funny, super funny too. All right,
This is the most bizarre video I've ever watched.
Yeah, I can't stop watching it.
the way that he walks, it looks so weird.
Yeah. And the moaning and like little noise he makes, he's walking. It's just like
as he falls and
yeah.
stuff.
Oh, guy's got a booty on him.
He's wearing like long johns.
Yeah. Oh
like
man.
gray, nasty long johns. Just go
Yeah.
check it out. Baby Steps video game.
Baby Steps trailer on YouTube.
Yep. Let's see. Let's talk about. We already talked about that. Let's hit this real quick. Fortnite versus the FTC settlement is live now.
Yeah. So you guys back in 2019, 2017 when Fortnite.
Has it been that long, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So kids were just. It was one of the first time in-game purchases really got some bad heat, and I mean to the tune of like tens of thousands of dollars being spent on people's accounts and not being returned and stuff like that. And so the FTC sued them for predatory practices and scammy purchases in game that would cause it to go out. And Fortnite agreed to pay $520 million
Epic?
for the yes.
Well, Epic, yeah, because they make Fortnite.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, Fortnite, Epic Games. And so it's live now. You can go to the link, and you can sign up to get your 50 cents back, because
50
that's the
cents.
way how settlements like this work. But, but yeah, so they said the deadline for to go sign up is January 17th, 2024. And they say the amount of the refunds will depend on several factors, including how many people file a claim. So, and the FTC says it does not have a mailing date for payments just yet, but they have to pay for that. Couple of things that you can do is that what happened is because Epic wouldn't listen, they wouldn't refund anything. People went and disputed all this on their credit cards and basically blocked Epic and got their money back, right? And then gave it to the credit cards to handle. And when they did that, Epic banned your account, closed it, and so your account will be. So here's the rules for applying. You were charged in-game currency for items you didn't want, that seems like very broad language.
How do you
right
prove
now.
that? Of course,
Yeah,
I don't want it.
Now I don't want it because it's worth money.
That self-report thing again.
Yeah, I don't want any of it now because I can get my money back.
Yeah, I don't want
it's an
it.
old game. So yeah, I didn't want that. I never wanted that. So if you were charged in-game currency for items you did not want between January 27 and September 22, that's like that's like last year.
Sometimes in 5 years. Sometimes in 5 years. In the last 5 years.
If you bought anything you don't want in 5 years, last 5 years, hey, you're eligible because only any of these have to be true for you to apply. Your child made charges to your credit card without your knowledge between January 27th, or 2017 and November 2018. So that one's a little bit shorter of a scope, and you can tell that's where the big money was, right?
Yeah.
From January 2017 to November 2018.
About 2 years.
That's when almost 2 years. That's where a lot of those big charges came from, where kids just, I want that, and I want that, and I want that, and it didn't have checks in that place. It just anyway. And here's the third one. If your account was locked between January 2017 and September of 2022, so also that 5-year range, after you complained to your credit card company about wrongful charges.
What you were saying, yeah.
Yeah. So if any of those three are true, you can go visit ftc.gov/Fortnite to apply for the refund. So go do that. Get a little cheeseburger money, a little Taco Bell money. Huh?
Yeah.
One taco.
On taco.
50 cents ain't gonna buy you a taco.
On Taco Tuesday, Will.
On Taco
dude.
Tuesday. Yeah. You
My
get
guy.
one.
Play your cards right.
I have been corrected yet again. Boy, do I feel dumb.
Yeah.
Well, when you say it like that, I almost feel bad.
you weren't.
I hope
You
so.
weren't.
I feel bad.
If you weren't such a contrarian tonight, Lando, we wouldn't have to be so hard on you. I'd still be hard on you. But
And Owen, you were supposed to be the nice one.
You're supposed to be the chosen one,
chosen
Owen.
one. Don't do it. I have the high ground.
All right. Well, there you go. One time I signed up for a class action against Red Bull for some reason. I don't remember why. Oh, it was because they
I think I
advertised.
did the same one.
It was advertising something like false advertising for saying it helps you perform better in sports or something like that. You know, the whole like gives you wings thing was
Yeah.
taken too literally.
I
or
didn't make
something
an
like
extra
that.
free throw at all.
Yeah, thanks Red Bull. The thing that sucked about this is I signed up and I got, you know, approved or whatever, and they're like, "Do you want $6 or a 4-pack of large Red Bulls?"
4-pack. That's
And
what I
was
went
like,
for.
well, I want the 4-pack for sure, but in the time between accepting that and it actually shipping, I moved. And they had the wrong address in there, so I never got my free Red Bulls.
Oh, I got it.
Oh.
I remember the day I got a random package on my doorstep. What is this? Red Bulls? Why do I have Red Bulls on my doorstep?
Do you remember what size they were that they said?
They were the
was-
regular size.
Oh,
just
the
regular,
little 8.4s.
just the little ones.
Oh, okay. But
That's
yeah,
funny.
I remember like 6 months later, I can't remember why I remembered, but I was just like, hey,
I never got my
whatever
dang
happened to my
Rebels.
free Red Bulls? I just thought it was funny that an option for
Pay with Red Bull.
remuneration, what's the word I'm looking for?
Remunerate. Oh,
Remediation.
now I can't say it.
Oh,
What word is
Remuneration.
it? What is it?
Remuneration.
Remuneration. An option for remuneration against a company that wronged you was more products from the company that wronged you.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Remuneration.
Oh, it was remuneration. Okay, I thought so.
Say it right, Tony.
Remunerators. Tarantulas. So
Nailed it.
that's a throwback to the old episode. Sorry, that was a reference. That was a reference to the help desk episode. If you haven't listened to that yet. All right, let's talk more about fun stuff. Nintendo Direct happened this. Well, I say more about fun stuff, but I didn't really have much fun watching this Nintendo Direct. It was
It was a boring one for
a
sure.
boring one. There wasn't much for me, but that's fine. Maybe other people are excited for what they announced.
My understanding is the Mario RPG game is amazing.
That was the only one that I'm slightly interested
The
in.
Paper
was-
Mario game.
Well, there's two. So they
Yeah.
already announced they're redoing what was it? Super Mario RPG.
Right.
The
but
Legend of the
this
Seven
was
Stars.
in Paper Mario.
And then they announced this time, they updated on that one as well, but then they also announced, Paper Mario, the
Which
1,000-Year
is
Door
also
HD.
pretty good. I understand. I never played
Yeah,
it.
that was a GameCube one, and it's very highly regarded. So if you're into those games, then this was a good, a couple of good announcements there.
I think you're burying the lead here. Princess Peach finally gets her own game.
I was getting to it. So Princess Peach is getting her own game. I told you. And they're calling it Princess Peach Showtime. It's coming out in March. Looks like a classic Nintendo platformer with different abilities based on how she's dressed and stuff like that. Just like Mario has different abilities based on his Tanuki suit and his bear suit and his different hats and whatnot. So, good for Princess Peach lovers out there. She's getting her own game. Let's see what else they showed off. Mario versus Donkey Kong remake. That was a Game Boy Advance game from
This
2004.
feels like they just started. This feels like they just started taking the main points out of the movie and turning them into their own games. Like,
Well, most of these games are games that already came out. That's what Nintendo is leaning heavily into for
Right.
the last couple
old
years.
IP.
Yep, taking.
But I'm sure it's working. Or
Oh,
else
yeah, they
they would
would-
be doing it.
They wouldn't be doing it, and I'll admit it. I've bought a few of the
Upcycle?
remakes.
Does that trigger you, Darren, if I say upcycle? It's not the same as upskill, but anyway, they're upcycling their games.
Upcycle.
Upskilling.
So,
I like
so
it.
this
Whatever.
this is a remake from a 2004 Game Boy Advance game coming out February 16th, 2024. And then another upcycle, but with an interesting twist. F-Zero
I actually love that
99.
game.
Nobody saw this coming because what the heck is it even? So F-Zero back
It
on the
proves the
Super
point.
Nintendo.
I
Any
love
game,
F-Zero.
if you make it a battle royale, is better. Period. Any game.
Is that how you feel?
Oh yeah, battle royales are great. Just making it. Tetris battle royale, awesome. F-Zero
never-
battle royale,
Never actually
awesome.
played that one.
Oh, it was
This-
so much fun.
This looks crazy because it's called F-Zero 99 due to the fact that there's 99 other players
It's F-Zero battle
Whoa.
royale.
on the course with
On
you.
the track.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
and the graphics are pulled right out of the Super Nintendo. It looks exactly the same.
Oh, wow.
And you're just running these tracks with 99 other people. The only bummer about this game I saw is it's exclusive to the Switch Online subscription. So
Yeah, as was Tetris 99 too, I
yeah,
believe.
Tetris 99 was the same thing, and all of the what do you call it, retro NES, Super NES, and 64 games. Those are all exclusive to the online subscription. So, but yeah, it looks pretty crazy.
I've heard great things about it.
It looks fun if you're into that kind of chaos and everything. It looks just bonkers. Speaking of more upcycles, this one wasn't Nintendo, but I don't know who's doing this remake. Tomb Raider 1, 2, and 3 remasters.
Asper.
Oh, Asper's doing these? Okay.
I love those games too.
And this one has updated graphics to a point.
It's
To a
instead
point.
of 25 years old, it's more like
15
20 years old.
Yeah, 20 years old. But it's like when Microsoft did the Halo CE anniversary edition, and you can switch between the new graphics and the old graphics on the fly, and see what they got
let
going
them
on
compare.
there.
Let them compare so they can see that it's actually
Yeah,
better.
exactly. No, we promise it looks better. No, it doesn't. Look at the old one. Okay, it looks better. Nothing looks as good as the rose-colored glasses of nostalgia.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's happening, and I want to say that's coming out for everything, not just Nintendo. I think that's a cross-platform thing, but I could be wrong. Nintendo obviously is not going to say that it's coming out on other platforms. I'd have to check.
Nope.
More remakes. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD coming out next summer, and Luigi's
nice.
I think Luigi's Mansion 2 came out on the Wii U, didn't it? So Luigi's Mansion 1 was GameCube.
Wii?
I think 2 was Wii or Wii U.
If
Anyway,
only we had a tool to look this up.
nah. Nintendo Switch. It's going to be on the Nintendo Switch now. So there you go.
Nintendo 3DS? No, that's Dark Moon.
Does this game require the subscription too?
No, this is just one you can buy.
Okay.
What'd you find, Jaron?
All I can see is Luigi Mansion Dark Moon. Is that 2? If so, that's 3DS.
It might be. I don't know. I didn't ever get into the Luigi Mansion games. I couldn't tell you.
Yes, it's Nintendo 3DS.
Okay.
Yep.
So there you go.
Interesting.
Splatoon 3 is getting some DLC. 2024. If you're into the Splatoons, got another look at Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. That's that new Prince of Persia game that's a side scroller. Let's see, Super Mario RPG. We talked about that. Trombone Champ is coming to the Nintendo Switch.
Originally a PC game.
Yep.
Great stuff.
Dave the Diver, also on PC right now, is coming to Switch. I think Dave the Diver's on everything already, but no, it was exclusive to the PC beforehand. So, and that's one of those ones that came out of nowhere and everyone just loves, that I've seen online. Everyone's loving Dave the Diver. So there you go. Wave 6 of the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Boost Course Pass was shown off. Detective Pikachu Returns got a new trailer. It's got some amiibo stuff. Another Code Recollection, another compilation of old games up-resed for the Switch. These were on the DS and the Nintendo Wii. First one was on the DS and the second one was on the Wii. So that'll be coming out in January. Saga Emerald Beyond JRPG coming out next year. Unicorn Overlord, a new tactics RPG from the developer behind 13 Sentinels. Euden Chronicle, 100 Heroes JRPG coming out. WarioWare Move It got a new trailer. If you like those WarioWare mini game micro games, gonna have some more of that to play with. And then they also announced updated that the Nintendo Gallery Museum is still on track to be completed by March 2024. That's in Kyoto. They converted an old plant into a museum for Nintendo stuff. So,
oh, cool.
That's cool.
I'd go there.
So that's your Nintendo Direct in a nutshell. And let's talk about BLUEY. How's that for
Oh
a
my
transition?
gosh, what a great transition.
Alex
So
Windsor
if
for
you
sure.
are a parent and you don't know about Bluey, what rock have you been living under?
Seriously.
Because Bluey is probably the greatest kids show in the entire world
And for parents too.
ever.
You want to feel validated? Go watch Bluey.
I'm not
Or-
a parent, and I've heard of Bluey.
Bluey's amazing. It is one of my very favorite TV shows of all time. Like, it is so good. So of course, you know, they're on the milk the train, get all the money we can, and they're making a video game out of Bluey.
Yes.
So of
Kids are gonna
course,
love
it's going to
this.
be they're calling it a interactive sandbox adventure titled Bluey the video game. We don't know. We don't have much details here about how
Your
it's going to
link is
play, but it
dead.
sounds like you're just going to run around the Bluey house and have a great time.
No
Just
details.
like the show.
No details at all, since the link goes to a 404.
Delete
I fixed it.
Delete the V on November.
Yeah, I fixed it.
The V?
Yeah,
Yeah, the very end of the link. There was November.
finger.
No, it doesn't have it on mine. That's weird.
I fixed it.
He killed it. You killed it on the text link, but not the hyperlink.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, you got to fix it. Come on, computer better, Tony. Anyway, it's the
All
Bluey the
right.
video game out in November of 2023 on all PlayStation 4, 5,
Now it's
Switch,
fixed.
Correct
PC,
me.
Xbox One X, S, whatever, all the things.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Bluey targeted at like really young kids? Like
Have you seen it, Tony?
I've seen a few episodes. Isn't it like preschoolers and down?
It's
Yeah.
kids of all ages.
I would say
Oh,
all
is it?
ages. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's kids.
So I was gonna
and
say
adults.
how
This game-
how much of a target audience can you have for a game for 5-year-olds?
I'm going to play this game 1,000%.
Oh,
I'm going to play
absolutely.
this game.
Bluey
That
is the
makes-
perfect supercharging game while you're charging your EV or show, because you could just
Yeah.
put it on, watch like an episode or two, and be
They're
on your way.
they're only
It's
like
fantastic.
they're only like 8 to 12 minutes, sometimes 16.
And there's a million of them.
And I have never felt more heard than when some of the stuff Bandit the dad says, and I'm just like
so much.
you've made it okay for me today, Bandit. Like the show's great.
He is
telling
my
you.
spirit animal for sure. I love that guy so much.
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch their Jimmy Fallon interviews with Bandit and Jilly, the voice actors? They're
No.
just as awesome in real life as they are in the show.
They,
Have you heard of
they-
the theories that like they're having affairs like with the neighbors or something?
I have seen that.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you watch the
funny.
show, so like it's geared to adults too. So there's every once in a while there's some jokes that are meant for adults. But there's some other hidden things, and people are led to believe that the wife of the show, the mom, is having an affair with other neighbors and things. So it's alluded to, and there's some pretty good
Slander.
evidence.
They can't prove it.
Nah.
They'll never draw that.
That's right.
Anyway, it's Bluey. There's a video game, and it's awesome. November on all the things.
Cool.
November.
Well, there you go.
Kids are gonna love that.
In-game rewards, new
Something to look
costumes,
forward
stickers,
to.
playable episodes, and locations.
All right.
I think it's awesome. I don't care if anyone else cares. I care, and that's what
I care.
matters.
I'm down. More games is just good in general.
Hopefully, it's good.
But what's bad in general is laying off half of a development team after their game comes out, even when it's a good game.
Ugh,
Yeah.
hate that.
I know how to pick games. I tell you what,
How to
Immortals
pick
of Avium,
Poorly performing games.
my Q3 choice to review. Well, it's selling horribly because, as mentioned, it came out between Baldur's Gate 3 and Starfield.
Not good.
Horrible choice by EA. What were they thinking? Anyway, because of their poor performance, they're laying off half of their workforce.
You think those little decisions don't matter? That's not a little decision, I guess, but here it is.
that was
like-
a big oversight.
Quickly after the game came out, like within a month. It's,
Yeah, it
it's
hasn't
crazy.
even been. Yeah, it's only been about a month and half.
Yeah.
half gone.
And unfortunately for me, the game stopped working on my computer. Like, it will not boot, period. So, unable to finish reviewing that until I
is like
figure
the
out how to
third-
fix it.
This is like
Well,
the
if you've
third game
made-
you haven't finished reviewing or refused to finish reviewing because it performs so poorly on your PC.
If you've made any registry changes, you should just probably reboot after.
Yeah,
that.
you need to reboot that.
Fix it. Fix it.
Okay, maybe I
Fix
will.
that game.
I will take that advice. Because I haven't thought to reboot my computer 10
don't you dare
times.
be nice, Jaren, about that. Don't you dare flip that on me.
You know, you might be right. You know,
You know I'm not.
Jaron hasn't rebooted his computer since 2004.
when you don't need to, you don't need to.
That's hey, you know what? I completely agreed.
All right, let's talk about the leaks. There was a leak the size of you could drive a fly. You could friggin' fly the spruce goose through this leak. It was so big. The hole was so big. The FTC and versus Microsoft case had some documents leak out over the last 24 to 48 hours. And first thing FTC says, we didn't do it.
Not our fault.
Not us.
We
Was
had
us.
to give it to you. We
Yep.
had the Microsoft's like it wasn't us.
Well, apparently
right,
it
Shaggy.
was somehow Microsoft's problem that it happened. And the FTC wasn't just throwing up a not me
Not me,
kind
not
of a
it. Like
response.
nose goes.
And so this leak just had so much stuff in it. Now, to be fair,
To be fair.
thank you, Lando, Owen. All of the stuff that was leaked out, not all of it, but a lot of it is information that's a year or more older. So things have probably changed or evolved since when this stuff was put into, their roadmap, things like that. But one of the things that they did show off that looks pretty plausible is a new controller that looks pretty good. It's not crazy expensive this time, $70. Well, I mean, that's still too expensive for a controller, if you ask me. But it's not like what they charge for the elite one. That's 200 or whatever, 180. But this one will have some cool features such as the built-in accelerometer. It's supposed to be built out of more sustainable materials, better force feedback, things like that, better haptics. And then it will feature a lot more connectivity options. You have your Xbox Wireless 2 protocol, which is what
Do you feel like this was on purpose? Do you think this was on purpose?
So-
I got my tinfoil hat on. It feels
Phil
like they're
Spencer
like,
has said it wasn't on purpose.
but
and-
doesn't it feel like it might be?
Was it though?
But a lot of who was that? I think it was Tom Warren. I was reading his tweets, or it might have been one of the Digital Foundry guys. Said that this doesn't look like the kind of information you would leak on purpose. The way it's presented. So
How do you
we'll never know the
bench test?
truth.
How do you bench? Tell me you're gonna bench test something. You're gonna acceptance test something without acceptance testing. Like
Leak it.
right?
No,
Oh,
you're
was
right.
it?
You're
And
right.
if they're like,
Well, Like, the thing is, this information is 3 years old now.
That's what I mean. That's like
And
a
so
lot
it's
of it's at least a year old, more like 2 or 3.
It's a snapshot in time of what they think they're planning for the future. That changes so much, when companies do their strategic plans. It changes every year because new information comes. So
even with manufacturing, you think?
Oh,
like, even
yeah,
with building
like-
the controller,
For
and
sure.
You think they're gonna change that enough?
The amount
Like,
of
'cause
prototype
manufacturing-
iterations, the amount of
'cause
prototype iterations they go through is absurd. You go look at when they did, was it last year or the year before? They did their 20 years of Xbox celebration, and they showed they showed out all the different iterations of the very first Xbox controller that they went through. There was like 20 plus iterations of that controller before they landed on
nuts.
the garbage that they put out before the controller S came out.
Yeah, right.
So anyway, yeah, this controller has that Xbox Wireless 2 connectivity. It's got Bluetooth 5.2 connectivity. And like taking a page out of the loser's playbook, it's got direct to cloud connectivity as well, like the Stadia controller had.
Oh, hey.
Where it was basically a direct Wi-Fi connection
Right.
to your
Stadia-
Wi-Fi router. So
Stadia
you-
on its own is poop, but Stadia combined with what Microsoft and Xbox is maybe not so.
well, the
not-
technology of Stadia wasn't bad. Their
Yeah,
idea of how to sell games was
And there's like they
Yeah.
just didn't have enough. They weren't big enough in that way, infrastructure wise.
Yep. So
maybe
looks
that'd
kinda
make
cool.
maybe that'd make Xbox Cloud gaming actually palatable.
Yeah,
Right.
Maybe.
little more refined. And then the other,
Speaking of Xbox Cloud Gaming, I want to interject here. I have recently started playing Starfield, and I've tried it on both GeForce Now and Xbox. GeForce is by far better.
Oh yeah,
Totally. No
It is.
Totally
question.
better.
it is better, and it is head and shoulders above every other streaming option out there right now. Game
Yeah,
streaming
and
option.
Xbox Cloud is good. Like it's
not bad.
It's not bad at all. But
Yeah.
GeForce is just better.
Is it because of hardware? Do you think? Do you think it's just the hardware they use, or what makes it better?
It's just a better experience. Like I mean, when I'm playing on Xbox Cloud, every once in a while I'm like, oh yeah, I'm playing on cloud. This sucks, right? And just a little like tearing in the video things happen or lag can happen. So for example, when I played it on Xbox Cloud, one of the very first things you do in Starfield is have a big shooting scene, whatever. Right in the middle of that scene, I lost connection and went, and I just missed half the dialogue. It sucked. Never had any issues like that on GeForce ever.
Yeah, it's just they just have created
It's farther ahead.
Yeah,
Side
they're
note,
just
just to
further ahead.
interject my experience.
Don't they
Yeah.
still call Xbox Cloud Gaming the beta anyway? Don't they?
I
still
think
claim
they
that's a
still
beta?
consider
Yeah.
because it is still just an add-on to.
And to be fair, I
To be
was
fair.
playing on my iPhone with my backbone on wireless.
Okay.
That probably
That should be a
that
common
should be good,
use
yeah.
case, though.
Was that for both, for Nvidia and for Xbox?
no
Same.
the GeForce I was playing on my laptop on hardwire.
So yeah,
Not
there might be a
comparable then.
piece of
It could have been a little bit of that, but
play a factor.
just overall, it was just better.
And the last cool thing about this controller that they noted is the joysticks are replaceable by the user. So
Didn't they say maybe it could be Hall effect, like better?
I think they'd be silly not to, especially if they're going to be user replaceable, because
Right.
there's already tons of Hall effect joystick mods you can buy that you can replace controllers with. So just make it easy, you know?
Is there a mod for the Elite? That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome. Let's see. What else did they show off? Oh, they showed off the possible mid-cycle refresh, which is that the
like
one
a
you
turd.
have?
Yep. Looks
Yeah.
like a turd. Looks like a big black turd.
It's
It's
not
a mix
very
between It's a
pretty.
mix between like the original Xbox V1 and Apple's trash can Apple
Yes.
Pro Mac Pro.
It does. It looks like a different, like a little stepbrother of the trash
think,
can Mac.
Think of like an Amazon, like the Alexa app or the big Alexa cylinder maybe. Do they have? Yeah, that's the tall one, right?
It's
So-
also pretty controversial because the PDF says adorably all digital.
What does that even
all,
mean?
all digital means
And,
no input,
no disk
for
drive.
CDs, no
Physical
discs.
game nerds, they are all sorts of pissed off about that.
Yeah, especially because like we've talked about before, like there's a big controversy between owning the game physically and having to rely on the fact that their servers stay up
Sure.
for a game that you bought and paid top dollar for, right?
Yep.
Like so they make a good point there, but yeah, it's coming out. And I think it's got what, a 2 terabyte storage on it is what they say.
That's-
Again, this is all kind of weakened, like it's all watered down because of the age of the data.
Yeah, we don't know
You
if they're
know?
actually still planning on this.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that bugs me is that the projected price is $500, and it is the same thing as the Xbox Series S, just minus the disk drive,
Yeah.
and a larger SSD. That's not a
Yep.
good trade, if you ask me. You know,
No.
Well, it's improved. They basically what they received was a slide deck, right, in PDF form, and it says improved sustainability story. Like that's one of the
Well,
things they're.
they're just pulling an apple
So-
there and patting
so
themselves
slower-
on the
It's
back.
lower
more
power.
efficient. It uses less power. So.
Yeah, you know,
Yep.
big deal. It'd be the same experience for the user.
I like that they even put 100% recyclable packaging. So
I mean, that's cool, but
Yeah.
I don't think those are talking points anymore for
not
companies.
for a
those
not
should
for a
be
mid-cycle refresh for the
those should be
consumer, you know?
table stakes. Everyone should just be
Right.
doing that now. You know.
Right.
So yeah, there was that, and the only one that I was actually excited for that I read about, well, two. They talked about the new Xbox is supposedly in 2028, which fits the timeline for kind of what we expect for refreshes. And they talked about some pretty mighty specs on there, but like Jaren said, this is all just kind of conjecture at this point because nobody knows where the hardware market will be at that time. But they were saying things like using the Zen 6 CPU cores from AMD or possibly going ARM for the CPU ARM architecture.
Yeah, and they did
which
say
would-
they would be going with the 6 nanometer versus 7. It's boasting the 6 nanometer processor.
Not in 2028. For
It'll be short.
refresh.
Yeah, for the refresh. That's
for the
what
refresh.
that's what gets you the better energy efficiency, the
Yeah,
better
right.
the better power efficiency.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one said they're saying it'll be using the big little CPU core layout, Navi 5 GPU. It's got an NPU for your machine learning stuff, AI stuff, and then all the kind of stuff you would expect for a big once every 7 or 8 years kind of innovation. But we don't know what will actually happen in that time. It could change, could be exactly what they say, but it could. Interesting stuff there. And then the last thing that they mentioned that I thought was really cool was a leak on some of the games that are supposedly in development. Bethesda is supposedly working on a new a new entry in the Doom franchise, which is great. And then the one that got me really excited was a remake of Oblivion, or a remaster. I wonder what they mean by that. And a remaster of Fallout 4. So those are both great games. I would love to play updated versions of those. That'd be a lot of fun. And they also mentioned a sequel to Ghostwire Tokyo and Dishonored 3. So those are also pretty cool games. But
I like that Phil Spencer. So one of these leaked documents was an email, an internal email, saying how Phil Spencer would really like to buy Nintendo.
yeah, could you believe
And he's
that?
like, Nintendo is the prime asset for us in gaming, and that getting Nintendo would be a career moment. And I honestly believe a good move for both companies. Like, they can't even, like, can you imagine if they tried to buy Nintendo right now?
Dude,
Like,
people would
with
lose
what they
their
just
mind.
with what they just tried to do, with what they just maybe did with
Activision?
with Activision, like,
Mm-hmm.
no way. I bet they're rethinking that now.
Yeah, that'll never happen. And plus, Nintendo, if Nintendo scores a win with the Switch 2, then
Oh yeah,
A, they'll be too expensive.
Yeah.
even for Microsoft.
Yep.
And B, they wouldn't want to sell anyway, because that means they might have finally figured out how to do a good hardware refresh cycle, every 5 or 7 years. And Nintendo has a history of making money on the hardware they sell anyway. They don't hardly ever sell at a loss. So they're the only console company out there making money up front on the hardware sales and on the software sales.
Yeah,
And
but
it's-
they're good. They're only good every other console, though.
That's what I'm saying. If the Switch 2 is a home run like the Switch 1 was, then,
Do you think that's because they keep such a stranglehold on their IP? Like because they don't have to sell their hardware at a loss, because the only way you can play their IP is on there.
oh, that's a
there's-
factor for
you know,
sure.
like,
100%.
They've got that OG cred.
Yep.
Like that you're never gonna get Zelda anywhere else. You're never
Exactly.
gonna get and they're vicious about that. Like takedowns, like anything that infringes on their IP, they're really reactive to. So
Yep.
makes sense, I guess.
Yep. All right. Well, I think we're going to end with Lando's Casual Corner.
Oh, baby, am I bringing the big James energy back? This is going to be a regular feature.
It says causal corner, not casual.
It says casual.
Oh, that's
Never
no.
mind. I'm
The
not
first
doing
one-
nothing.
the
I
first
can't
one,
do anything
it
right
says-
tonight.
You know
It's
what?
over. I get it. I
You know,
understand.
maybe it's that new keyboard. Maybe you're not an idiot. Maybe it's just that new keyboard.
It's the new. Never mind. I'm not.
there. I got it.
Or maybe,
You're good.
or
I
maybe,
already fixed
or
it.
maybe,
You
or
fixed
maybe
it.
you could. You know what? You should have just doubled down on them. They're like, no, it is.
Can't win.
It is Lando's causal corner where I do a casual game review.
I get freaking talked down to like I'm a lesser person. It just feels bad.
It doesn't feel bad.
It's probably really weird because you're so tall. You're not used to that. People talk up
That's
to
true.
you usually.
So, like I said, I've been playing Starfield, but the problem with Starfield is it's a very intensely heavy game. There's a ton of different mechanics. The
There's
UI, just pressing the start button.
There's a learning curve.
Yeah, I'm
and
still-
It takes a good solid 3 to 5 hours to really get into that game.
Yeah, the story's great and
yeah,
everything.
once-
It's just heavy.
once you get past that 3 to 5 hour beginning hump, like every Bethesda game, then you can play in 30-minute increments or whatever hour-long increments.
Right, but I'm just not there yet. Like,
Yeah, you just gotta
Starfield's
get
hard
past
for me to
the
get in because I'm just having a hard time finding the time to sit down because like I know I need to invest an hour or more into it.
For sure.
And by the time night comes around, it's like, oh, I'm tired. I've worked all day. Do I want to play Starfield or just watch TV and zone out? And the TV zone out usually wins in my case. So anyway, I thought it would be interesting to have some casual game reviews since we tend to talk more about the heavier Starfields, the Boulder Gates, the heavier games like that, which are great. We love those games. But there's the pooper casual games are good to review too. So there's been a game me and my wife have been addicted to lately that we just can't stop playing.
Oh, is this still safe for work?
Yeah, why wouldn't it be safe for work?
I don't know the games you and your wife play.
Ah, I see what you did there. That's not what I'm talking about.
Oh,
that was good though.
okay.
That was very good. I'll take that one. No, so it's a new Apple Arcade game that I've been playing. It's called Affinity. At its core, it is a match 3 game, like something in the vein of
Triple Town.
yeah, Triple Town or Candy Crush or things like that. This one put some unique spins on it. Makes it much harder. It's a very hard, difficult game. It's played on a grid of 4x4 tiles, and the 4x4 tiles can loop up or down, and they loop around infinity, right? But every tile can only be moved in a finite number of times, and you have to match them up in certain way in rows, either horizontally or vertically. And when you don't, they lock, and it becomes very, very difficult to clear the board or to advance farther in the game. So the challenge is really keeping up with that. Anyway, it's an Apple Arcade game. It's called Affinity. It's amazing. It's so much fun. If you have an Apple Arcade subscription, which if you don't, why not? There's some great games on there. In fact, there's more games coming every day. I just realized Stardew Valley's on our Apple Arcade, which is another great casual game if you're into those kind of games.
That game feels too much like work.
That's true. It can. That's James's point for sure. I love Stardew Valley. My kids right now are playing it.
Oh, I know some people that
awesome
are
game
just
for them.
way into it. I tried it. Maybe it's just not for me.
It's probably not for you.
Yeah.
It's very low stakes, very open ended. No real end to the game. No way to really beat it. Can go on forever, that kind of thing. But anyway, this game Affinity on Apple Arcade, great casual game to play on the pooper. I give it a solid 7.5 out of 10.
What? You just talked about how great it was, and you gave it a 7.5?
Yeah, I'm giving
What'd you
myself
knock
some
it down
leeway
for?
for future games.
Oh, I see.
What?
What'd you knock it down for?
What's a 9?
I don't know. It's a good question. Maybe Marvel Snap would have got a 9 from me. That was very, very good.
Really? Do you still play that?
I haven't played it for a while now.
Yeah, me neither.
Careful about setting numbers like that, Lando. It could stick with you. 8 out of 10 or
Like your 8 out of 10
I was
children,
gonna do. So here's what really happened in my brain.
Stick with
I was
you.
gonna
You gotta be
say
careful.
8 out of 10, but I'm like, that's Owen's thing. I can't say that.
Don't choose just an arbitrary number because it could be the thing that you get known for. So
This is
anyway,
true.
Just a word of advice.
So anyway, my idea here with Lando's Casual Corner is to root through some of the cruft and the crap, because let's face it, the mobile game, the app stores are full of crap. There's
it's a
just
giant
so much junk.
shovelware. Yeah.
But uncovering hidden gems can be so much fun. And when you find one of those gems, it's like, what a breath of fresh air. So I'm going to look
Nice.
for those games for you guys, dear
You're going to
listeners.
have one every week?
I'm going to try, yeah.
Nice. Cool. Well, there you go. What's it called? Affinity?
Affinity.
Affinity. Okay.
It has a snake as a logo.
Is it eating its own tail? Is it an Ouroboros?
Yep.
Wow. Hey.
show you.
Now we're talking.
Anyway, it's very, very good. I can't stop playing it. I've been playing it now for 3 weeks.
Very, very good.
Straight.
7.5 out of 10.
Maybe 8.5 out of 10.
Super great. Super great. I give it a 4. Should check that out.
4 out of 5. Some
Oh,
arbitrary
4 out of
number that's not
5.
perfect,
Okay.
but not
There you
perfect.
go. On the
Fair enough.
sliding scale there.
All right. Well, cool. I think that's it. We got everything covered. Thanks for listening.
Good job, guys.
Before we head out, big shout out to our Patreon backers, patreon.com/gadgetspot. If you throw 6 shekels a month or more, you get a shout out on the air, which Jaron has for us right now.
Thank you to David Broshinsky, Connor Keesaw, and Wolfball Tony. Thank you guys. Always reboot after registry changes. Andy Bird.
Can confirm.
Be the 8-year-old Travis Johnson. Get geeky stickers for your computer or laptop, or have me design something for you at Pyman Graphics on Etsy. Jeremy, No Name, No Color, Keslow, Eric Steinman, Eric Cruz, Nathan Motzkus, Matt Nelson. Y'all should check out Hendrix Craftsman on Insta and TikTok. Me, speechless like a Japanese video game, ... Josh D, Dick Messerly, Adam, Aaron Faulkner, Stuart Lloyd, Joe. The opinion of 10,000 men is of no value if they know nothing about the subject. Ryan M. and Adam Hecht. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay, Owen, take us off. Out.
Hey.
What?
Hey, we hope you care.